In previous video Castaway Economics 1, an individual was cast up on a deserted island and established a single-person economy. In Money 1, the population grew and so a state was implicitly created to represent all the members of the community, and tokens might be exchanged to record obligations. As the population grows, if the economy is limited by barter, progress towards increased comfort and well-being is slow. This segment, Money 2, examines the results and implications of the issuance of money. The presence of money in an economy, by representing a recognized holder of value, acts as a lubricant to enable transactions to complete faster than they would if barter was the only option. Barter requires that the two parties to a transaction seek each other out and match their demands and expectations before a transfer of ownership can happen. If the money tokens represent, however temporarily, value that can be transferred, the difficulty of finding another agent willing to participate in exchange is greatly reduced. In this way, money oils the wheels of the economic machine so that obligations can be settled between agents quickly and efficiently. The community is better off if consumables and potentially productive tools are quickly available to the most suitable hands, since if the perceived saving of energy and time is actually realized, two effects occur. First, individuals are better off if they have access to inventories and tools. And secondly, the community moves to a higher level of aggregate comfort, since more than one member is better off as a result of the exchange. Any individual can issue their own money. Say Red knows how to turn a pound of beans into 50 pounds of beans in a growing season, but Red does not have that pound of beans for seed. Red's task is to find a person, Blue, that has a pound of beans to exchange and agrees to accept a promissory note to pay back the pound of beans at the end of the growing season. The advantage to Blue is that instead of holding the beans which get older and less able to germinate, the pound of beans eventually paid back will be completely fresh. The only problem for Blue is that once the note has been accepted and the beans planted, Blue might not be able to pass on the note to another agent for equivalent value very easily if few other agents know Red or Red's ability to grow beans or to honor the note. If the deal is successful, then this reinforces the reputation of both parties, a win-win situation. Thinking more broadly, one of the powers of the state is the capacity to issue and manage tokens to act as money. What if the state was to create a note? The state, as representative of all the individual agents collectively, offers a different kind of reputation for value. If the state was to create a note and give the note to Red in exchange for potatoes that Red has but the seller of beans does not need, Red could then use the note to buy the beans, since the state note is backed by the reputation of the whole community. So is the state note more fungible than the personal note? From this transaction, the state now owns potatoes, along with other items of value, stored in real consumables in inventories and tools as a result of other notes issued. As the population gets larger, with more individuals venturing to apply energy through tools with a product as output, the state in effect acts as intermediary for the encouragement of production of a wide variety of useful things. So in summary, we now have two ways of putting money into the economy. First as individual notes, second as community notes. Each has special advantages and disadvantages. In the first case, the selling agent has a contract for beans, and in the second, the agent has a contract for a share of whatever collection of future wealth the community as a whole has purchased. As long as the note issuer publishes how many notes they have in circulation, by counting their personal holding of notes, each agent can assess their individual risk exposure, their share of the central holdings. It is in the interest of the state to hold wealth reserves, not physically, which would demand storage expense, but as claims on physical product. The wide variety of different reserves leads to a problem in that different commodities have different values or perceived benefit in terms of future energy and time saved. And these commodities will change in relative value over time, sometimes increasing in value, sometimes falling, but in the aggregate representing the future savings available. As we have seen, any economic agent can issue money, but the effectiveness of that money is highest when it is seen as good value or trustworthy in the widest economic circles, that is, through the state issue of tokens, where the tokens in the final analysis represent a claim on community resources. The system of state money is therefore a dynamic machine, with tokens flowing from state to individuals, from individuals to the state, and between individuals. As long as the machine never stops, and participants have a clear idea of the workings of the state money and their exposure to risk, together with an idea of the value of state wealth holdings, confidence in the state money is maintained. These are only two of the many models of money systems that could be considered. Money 3 will consider some simulations of money flows.